Next up, we have a brief presentation on a very interesting and ongoing project. Please welcome Joris Dekkers, Director of the Las Vegas Book Project, to the stage. Welcome, Joris. Please enlighten us about your project. Welcome.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Willem, thank you for the wonderful opportunity to do this. I am a big fan of Las Vegas, that I can say. And I visited the city multiple times, even when I was just entering the age of 21. But then 10 years after, I didn't visit the city much, and I came back. I was about 30 years old, and I visited Vegas with two friends of mine, and we stayed in the Hotel Trump. No political advice. Few minutes from there, because Trump doesn't have a casino inside the hotel, few minutes from there, walking distance, there was a beautiful hotel that caught my attention. And on a blurry morning, I visited the place because my friends, they stayed in the room. They didn't want to go out. And I went there and I played some blackjack and I lost a lot of money. I came back to the hotel room and my two friends said, "And, did you win?" I said, "No, I lost. I lost a lot of money. But I'm so happy because I found a hotel that I really, really love." And I think that was my first experience in Vegas where I thought, okay, who built this place? I will show you later which place I'm talking about. Who of you actually has visited Vegas once, many times? Well, you're one of 50 million people that do so every year. Left of me is a picture of the 1960s in Vegas. Caesar's Palace just got built by Jay Sarno. But moreover, in that time, in the 50s and the 60s, Vegas was a totally different place than it is today, as you can see from the image to the right. There weren't any resorts or hotels for that matter. There were motels, and they were very close to the Strip. You drove your Cadillac or whatever cool American car you had, you parked it close to the motel that you checked into, and the harsh Nevada desert sun would shine on your face, and you would just enter a place which totally looked different than the casinos today. You would see that the ceilings would be very low. The bars, the restaurant, the show lounge, whatever the hotels had to offer the players, were mostly dark inside, no light, no windows. And if you would go to the gaming floor, you would find gaming tables, blackjack, poker, roulette, and of course an array of slot machines. But you would not find clocks. You would not find exit signs. All you would see is people playing, people enjoying themselves, and nicely dressed up people. But the experience of those years, the 1950s and 60s, was convoluted. That meant that the guiding theory in Vegas at that time was that you had to entrap the player as much as you could. So that as a player, you didn't know really what was going outside until you stopped your gaming session. And the theory behind it was, if we were to convolute players, if we were to close them off from the outside world, we would actually maximize the profit out of each gambler. But then came this man, Steve Wynn. The man I look up to most, that inspired me to create this beautiful project that I call the Las Vegas Book. Steve Wynn had an experience in the 60s when he visited the Sands Hotel, where Frank Sinatra was the headliner. And 10 years later, he got a chance, not on the Strip, but in downtown Las Vegas, to get a majority share in the Golden Nugget. Perhaps you know this hotel, the Golden Nugget. And at that time, it was a very torn down casino. There wasn't much happening. Even downtown looked very boring to most of the players who were mostly on the strip at Caesar's Palace, for example. But Steve had a vision. Already at a young age, he was about 30 years old, he went to the Golden Nugget and completely transformed the place. Because he knew that if he didn't have the location, he better has had to have the best casino resort. So not only did he sign his friend Frank Sinatra to become the headliner for the Golden Nugget, but also he created a place where people enjoyed themselves much more than as feeling a gambler. They felt as if they were an elevated guest inside the Golden Nugget. In his vision, anyone can build a casino, but not everybody can build a casino resort. 10 years later, when he left the Golden Nugget enterprise, he built something on the Strip that revolutionized Las Vegas. This was 1989, and in the 80s, Las Vegas actually looked much alike the 1950s and 60s. But Steve thought that he could do better. He had already had some experience in the Golden Nugget, obviously, and a lot of success. And most importantly, he had the money, because he had a contact in New York by the name of Mike Milken, who gave him enough financial support to build something that had been never seen in Las Vegas or even in the whole world. And this is, unfortunately, the casino that will soon be transformed, the Mirage. The Mirage was a place which not only had a volcano outside, and a dolphin reserve for that matter, but more importantly, it was not just a casino, it was a casino resort, an integrated modern casino resort that had much more to offer than games of chance. For Steve Wynn, it was never about casinos. It was always to build something bigger than that. And the Mirage aspired to a different kind of guest. What the Mirage said to people in Vegas was that if you would come into this place, you would not be seeing low ceilings. You would not be feeling convoluted or closed off from the outside world. Rather, you would feel enlightened, elevated. You would feel the best version of yourself. That was the motto that he foretook. A new theory actually became common practice when Steve Wynn arrived. No more dark interiors, but light, sunlight captured through an atrium and a glass ceiling, which immediately struck the casino floor. So as a player, you could actually choose your slot machine and be surrounded by beautiful plants. Because Steve thought that the forces of life, light, plants, water, were so important to the human soul and human aspiration that he thought that this was the most important asset for a casino. All of a sudden, they saw that people were actually playing the slot machines most near to the sunlight, and it was helping the experience. Later, Steve built the Bellagio, and in 2005, the casino that I just talked about, which gave me the impression and the reason to write this book, the Wynn. In my sense, it's the ultimate resort destination, so for everyone that goes to Las Vegas, at some point of his lifetime, you have to visit it, because it was his grand masterpiece before he left Vegas a few years ago. I only have 1 minute, so I'm closing off. The book, which hopefully will arrive in 6 months' time, goes into the complete development of Vegas, from the early days towards the present, and it really focuses itself on the Strip. And I asked myself the question, how could a desert town, because that was what Vegas was in the early 20th century, how could it develop into the capital of entertainment? It's a very interesting question, which for me was obviously the most inspiring reason to create this book. What sets it apart from other books, I hope at least, is not just the story, but the size of the book. It's the first coffee table book about Las Vegas, believe it or not. It'll be printed in Italy by a very famous Italian designer, which is also the primary partner for Taschen. And yeah, that's it. I mean, time's up, so no more marketing. Thank you.
Thank you.